Welcome back everyone, I'm Bustin, and today we have another Ashes of Creation video in the second part of our PvP discussion. Today we're talking about unstructured or open world PvP. Now this covers your standard open world topics like ganking players in the wild and how that works, but also naval combat and my personal favorite, caravan PvP. If you haven't seen my previous videos on PvP, I suggest you start there, and if you have, let's dive in. So let's start with caravan PvP. Caravans will be moving across the world constantly and for many reasons. They're the most efficient way for players to move large amounts of resources and goods, and there will be a ton of other reasons caravans are in the world, such as quests and nodes, castles collecting taxes, and so on. The exciting part is caravans and motions will create a temporary PvP war zone, and anyone who approaches can choose to either attack, defend, or ignore it. We know defenders will get some sort of rewards based on their success, and attackers can actually destroy a caravan, which will then drop a portion of the goods it carries. Also, attacking caravans does not have any repercussions, so be prepared to hire some bodyguards. As for open world PvP, know that you can be attacked anywhere, anytime when you're not inside your node, but there are consequences to that called corruption that I'll discuss later in the video. The open world PvP setup is split into three types: non-combatants, combatants, and the corrupted. Non-combatants are characters participating only in PvE content at the time and cannot be struck by indirect attacks from flagged players. Combatants are PvP flagged and are either participating in a PvP event like caravans or just haven't killed a non-combatant yet. When a combatant kills a non-combatant, they become flagged as red and gain corruption. We'll discuss this in more detail in just a moment. This means if you're just out gathering wild cabbages in a field and suddenly you're getting stabbed in the booty hole by some jerk with a knife, why is he doing that? Well, he probably wants some of those cabbages you work so hard to gather. Dying in open world PvP means you're going to suffer some negatives. Dying as a non-combatant means XP debt, durability loss in your gear, and dropping a randomized portion of your carried raw materials. So you spent an hour gathering 100 wild cabbages, now you're dead, and you spilled 30 of those cabbages on the ground when you died. Intrepid also wants to encourage fighting back, so flagging up as combatant and attempting to defeat that knife-wielding asshole will actually reduce the negatives of being killed. Maybe you only lose 15 cabbages, but let's say for this example, you didn't decide to flag up. What happened to that jerk with the knife? Well, he stole your cabbages, but he also gained corruption. Corruption is the mechanic in Ashes that deters griefing and provides a big risk versus reward for participating in open world PvP. Gaining corruption means you're killing non-combatants in the world, and that's giving you resources. I can definitely see squads of people roaming the world looking for rare material spawns or ganking to get their hands on what they can. Don't want to spend 3 hours looking for that rare mithril ore? Do a little scouting or spy work, figure out who the major gatherers of your neighbor's nodes are, and gather their blood with your hands and their goods in your pockets. However, for your ill-gotten gains and murder, you'll be marked by the game as corrupted. When you die with corruption, you suffer much heavier penalties than the other two PvP states. You'll have more XP debt, more durability loss, more drop resources, and most important of all, there's a chance you'll even drop equipped gear. Are you out ganking players with your super rare crafted weapon? Well, I hope you're comfortable with losing it when the 20-man retribution squad comes out of their node looking for your ass. There are some safe zones in Ashes of Creation, and I made a brief mention of this earlier. While the majority of the world is open to freeform PvP, you are safe within two specific areas. The first is your housing. Whether it's inside your node or your freehold, you'll be safe so long as you're at home. Second is your shop stalls. We haven't covered this in a video, but in a super short summary, it's possible to set up your own shops in the game's nodes. These shops, their goods, and you inside of them are not subject to open world PvP. Your cabbages are safe as long as they're on your property. Breaking away from the hot topic of griefing players for their hard-earned cabbages, let's talk about an entirely separate portion of open world PvP and PvE that takes place offshore. Ashes will also support a full naval system for both PvE and PvP players. Artisans will be able to manage docks and build ships. Huge sea monsters will plague the shores in open waters, and warships will blast each other with cannon fire to sink their foes and collect the spoils. We know these mechanics are intended to create epic battles with big rewards, but unfortunately we don't know much information on that just yet. I suspect in the future I'll definitely be coming back to this topic with a video on the concept of the high seas. The last subject today is war mounts. I could have brought this up in the previous PvP video, but I think it's more relevant here as these will be highly influential on PvP and are extremely limited within the game. Ashes of Creation does not intend to allow everyone to fly like in many other games. In fact, they plan to make it extremely restricted, except for a few players because these flying mounts are incredibly powerful. Mayors of the 5 metropolis nodes and monarchs of the 5 castles will have access to the only guaranteed flying mounts in the game, so long as they hold their position. These flying mounts currently take the form of these huge, badass dragons, and not only do they allow you to use these to fly around the world, but they can even be used in PvP to literally burn your enemies from the sky. Proper use of these mounts will surely be a huge deal in large-scale sieges. Dragon eggs will also drop from legendary world bosses and could provide a short-term temporary flying mount. Well, for now, that's all for PvP. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, if you want more Ashes of Creation content, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching. Be safe, everyone. Bye, guys.